Hello, this is Kidpool14, and this is What If Deku Had Magic. So, the start of the anime, we go to when he was a toddler, before the start of the anime. And he's still quirkless, so he goes to check with the doctor, and the doctor tells him that he still doesn't have a quirk. So Deku's kind of sad, and then goes into his room. But then later, after a year or so, he has a dream of a wizard giving him some powers. That wizard comes to him, giving him fire magic and water magic. So Deku wakes up the next morning, not knowing what he dreamt about, because he forgot, because you normally forget dreams. And he just goes to school as normal, and Bakugo teases him like normal. And out of nowhere, he just shot fire, a little glaze of fire, out of his hand. So, after school, he runs home to tell his mom his quirk, and his mom is really happy about that. And Deku starts training with his quirk, because he knows he doesn't want to be weak, and he wants to be the number one. So we're just gonna do a time skip until he's age 15. This is Deku, and he's highly respected because he has fire magic and water. Actually, no, just fire magic. And since he's been training so long, for so many years, then I'd say he could burn down a building with a lot of effort. Yeah. So he's basically like a dragon, and he has dragon breath too. So he's Bakugo's friend too, because Bakugo respects him and sees him as a rival. And Deku's just walking down. Oh yeah, he still has the name Deku, but it's changed from weak to strong because he got a quirk. So he's just walking down his normal path, and then he decides to take a shortcut. And he goes under a bridge, but then a slug villain, comes out of the sewer, asking for his quirk, and about to attack him. After this, Deku tries to shoot fire, but it doesn't work because the guy is a slug, and All Might appears and saves Deku. When Deku wakes up, he sees All Might putting the slug villain into a bottle, and he asks All Might for an autograph. After he does, All Might is about to jump away, and Deku grabs onto his leg, jumping away with him, and they had to land on a building to make Deku safe. And All Might tells him that was dangerous, but then Deku asks, can he be the number one hero with such a dangerous quirk? And All Might says no, because it's fire. It's highly doubtable. And Deku is kind of disappointed by this answer, but then All Might says if he can control that fire good enough, then he might be able to become number 2 or number 3. But he still has a strong quirk and he can be a hero. Then All Might jumps away. Actually, he transforms into a Small Might form, and then Deku looks at him confused and surprised. So All Might just explains to him what happened with his injury and stuff, and Deku feels sorry for him for using his time limit in 2, and All Might just walks out and leaves the building. So then later they see an explosion, and then they run over there, and they see Bakugo in the slug villain's grasp. Yeah. And All Might can't help because he used his time limit, and the heroes aren't trying anything because they can't actually stop the villain because he's a slug. So Deku is just looking at them confused, and then he tries to help, so he just runs to Bakugo and then shooting fire at the slug villain's eyes. Slug villain is really mad and loses his eyesight because he got fire shot at him, and is hesitating for a little, So Deku gets Bakugo out of there, and after that, All Might appears because he got hope from Deku and hits a Detroit smash on the slug villain. After he does this, the media starts surrounding All Might, Deku, and Bakugo. The heroes say Bakugo has a nice quirk. Then they go to Midoriya, saying he also has a nice quirk, but it was really reckless. And the media was asking what his quirk was and what he was trying to do. So Deku, kind of being nervous, just says he has a fire quirk, and just runs away by flying with fire. And All Might catches up to him. And after that, they do the whole thing at the street when All Might says he can pass him his quirk. And Deku says okay. After being really happy because it was All Might, he's about to be the disciple of his own hero. And so All Might looks at Deku and trying to see how much muscle he has. But Deku's still kind of scrawny. He has some muscle, but is still kind of scrawny because he was mostly focusing on his quirk, which is actually magic. And All Might says he has to train him so he can be able to use his quirk. So the next morning they go out to the beach and try collecting all the dirt. And he can't use his fire magic because that would just be cheating. So 10 months skip, and Deku is a little more muscular than he was at the original anime. And then All Might gives him the hair, being proud of him. And Deku just is confused. And All Might says he has to give him his DNA and stuff. So Deku eats it, and then is just getting ready for the entrance exam. So later, the next morning or next week, they're going to the entrance exam, and Deku is right out the front door and is just walking to there. He's nervous, but he didn't really trip. So he just walks, and then he sits right next to Bakugo, and he sees them, and then he's like super happy that he's next to his friend, and Bakugo's just okay with it, going like, cool. And they separated them into different cities, so then they can't be with their friends like the normal anime. And then Deku has to do the theory exam, but the theory exam was pretty easy. He's the same amount of smart as he is in the anime, so he just passes right by and goes to the practical exam. And he's getting ready, stretching and everything. So then once President Mike says go, everyone starts running, and Deku uses his flames to make him start flying. And he just starts shooting fireballs at some robots. After shooting some fireballs, he got around 50 points. But he's just walking around now because he can't find any more robots because everyone else destroyed them, and he destroyed the others. And then he sees a ginormous 0-point robot. So he just starts walking away while everyone else is running away. And he hears a scream from Uraraka, but he doesn't know who the girl is. So he starts running up. Then he jumps with all his might, breaking his legs, and then uses his fire to just destroy the thing. Actually, now scratch that. He doesn't jump, he just uses his fire. Uses a fire Kamehameha wave and destroys 10% of the robot, essentially like just stopping everything of the robot, because that's how robots work. And then he helps Uraraka get up. So after that, he just walks home, and he gets the mail later saying that he passed with the highest points since he had 70 rescue points. and 50 normal points. So it'll be 120 points. So he got near All Might's level, but not really. So he just sleeps and then waits